because he dated Gina Carano before her political views were known by anyone. Okay, I think I let that sink in a little bit. Oh, hello, nerds. We have a show. Today's episode, real quick, is definitely brought to you by the Your Mom Thinks I'm Advertiser-Friendly t-shirt. You can find that exclusively up on generallynerdy.net. There is a link to the general store at the top of the page. Click that. And this one is in the Teespring store, so go check that out. All of that being said, it is a doozy of an episode. We're going to jump right in after this. Okay, so I kind of lied. We are jumping into it as soon as I remind you to subscribe. You must be subscribed because it is an amazing thing for me, and it's really, really simple and easy for you. All you got to do is click that subscribe button, and there you go. You're subscribed. If you want to know when I post episodes, don't forget to ring the bell, and YouTube will maybe send you out a reminder whenever I've posted a new episode. All of that being said, thank you very much, nerds, for joining me. We're going to jump into breaking news. Breaking news! That's right, this one has come in since I finished my research schedule, and so I don't have a whole lot of information on it, but we do have word that Neil Blomkamp is, in fact, working on the sequel to District 9, his 2009 movie that was honestly better than it should have been, is getting a sequel, it seems. It is very, very, very early in the development of said sequel, so it might not ever see the light of day, but he has announced that he has begun work on said sequel. If there's anything else to talk about, we will definitely be keeping tabs on this in the movies section. Beyond that, we've got music to talk about. So in today's music section, we only have follow-ups. It is only 2 follow-ups. First is Avenged Sevenfold. We've kind of covered this at least once, talking about their new record. They say now that they are approximately 70% done with their new record, but they are joining the same bandwagon as Born of Osiris in that they're not going to release it once it's done unless they can tour to support it, which makes a lot of freaking sense. There's no reason to put out a record. I mean, there is reason because you could make money on it, but they're making money. That's the thing that everyone is missing about the pandemic and the entertainment industry. The upper-ups in the entertainment industry, the people who sit at the top, the people who have quote-unquote made it, so like Avenged Sevenfold and the other band we're talking about, AFI, when they come out and say, yeah, we need to support our local communities, they make enough money that each one of the bands in that echelon of status could open or could support or could do something for their local communities. And honestly, the music industry would not suffer at all. But now I'm going to get off my soapbox and we're going to continue talking about this record. So yeah, they are not going to be putting it out until they can tour to support it. This will be the follow-up to 2016's The Stage, which I honestly didn't listen to except for a couple of tracks and it did not impress me. Hopefully that will change with this new record. That is all we have. Again, there's no release date or anything, so we're going to be moving on to our next and final piece. It's also a follow-up. This is the follow-up on AFI's new record. AFI's new record is going to be called Bodies. They have now set a release date. It is going to be June 11th. Looking Tragic and Begging for Trouble are the first 2 singles off the record. There is a video for both of them. You can find the link down in the description. That's all we've got right now. Yeah, we're going to move on. Now let's talk gaming and tech. Gaming, we have a fair amount because a lot of stuff has been going on. Tech, we have one thing. So first up, we have follow-ups, and that is Cyberpunk 2077, technically, though it is a little bit more CD Projekt Red. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the fact that CD Projekt Red went through a little ransomware attack. Well, that ransomware attack, they said, was under control, and they said that it wasn't really going to affect anything. Well, now it turns out they might have misjudged those statements, or they just lied to us again. Whatever. So the news coming from the CD Projekt Red camp is that the update that we were supposed to get to Cyberpunk 2077 later this month is now happening at the latter half of March. So honestly, they've pushed it back a month. When you consider what we got as the final game, I think it's okay that we have to wait a month for the update. Granted, this was supposed to be like the update that fixed a majority of the issues. We'll see if that's the case. Either way, that's all we got, so we're moving on. Our next piece in gaming and tech is actually the first piece of brand new news. Sony's the Play, I should have put it in the notes, and I apologize, but they announced the State of Play. That's the words I was looking for. They've been talking about a lot of games, honestly, and not the least of which is Final Fantasy VII. We are now going to be getting a lot of spin-offs for Final Fantasy VII. They announced 2 mobile games, or specifically what we're going to talk about, but there's like 5 spin-offs that they've been talking about. The first of the 2 mobile games is called First Soldier. First Soldier is a battle royale game. I almost said MMO. Is a battle royale game that's mobile exclusive, which is very strange. And then they also announced Ever Crisis. Ever Crisis is going to be a side story that takes place in sync, effectively, with the mainline Final Fantasy VII game, but is also mobile exclusive. So the rest, the details were really like wishy-washy, so I'm going to try and iron that out a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in the next episode. That is all we have for Final Fantasy. Next up, we're talking about Pokemon. So Nintendo has kind of sort of been holding out on us. The Nintendo Direct that we got last week didn't really touch on this Pokemon news. So we have 3 new games coming for Pokemon, all going to the Switch. The first of which is called Pokemon Legends Archaeos. It is going to be an open world game that is set in an earlier era in the Sinnoh region. I don't remember what game Sinnoh region was covered in. I didn't look super hard for it because I know there's going to be a Pokemon fan out there that corrects me down in the comments section anyway, so please feel free. But yeah, the Sinnoh region is going to be the focus there. The big thing is that this is an open world game. Open world means awesome, because this is going to be, you're actually going to have to find and catch Pokemon. You're not just going to have random encounters in a field like you do in the Game Boy games and all of the other iterations that we've come across in the mainline Pokemon games. This is going to be open world, so you are actively hunting and catching Pokemon. I am super excited. I need to get my freaking Switch. That being said, our next piece the next 2 games, I almost didn't do the second half of the story. The next 2 games are technically re-releases. They are going directly to the Switch, though. The re-releases are Diamond and Pearl. The new names for them are Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They are going to be coming. It's just going to be repackaging, effectively, of the Diamond and Pearl with the updated graphics for the Switch. That's pretty awesome. That's all we've got for Pokemon, though. Next, we're talking about the Sony Fx3. Again, this is the tech side of things. Sony Fx3. Sony just announced a new FX cinema camera that is basically an A7S II, or an A7S III rather. It's pretty much all of the same internals. There's an included fan, so you get a little bit of increased capabilities there because you can take it into hotter situations for whatever reason you might need to do that for, but pretty much all of the stats are basically the same there. I'll try and link to the Jared Polin breakdown of exactly all of the differences between the 2 down in the description. But either way, freaking awesome. This is going to be a $3,900 cinema camera, which is amazing. It's great. This means some really awesome things if you're into longer form filmmaking. If you want to make YouTube channel look the best it possibly can, this is definitely going to be a step in that direction for you, because while it is not professional grade necessarily, it's not something that you could make a movie that Netflix would buy. You could make a movie that other streaming services would buy with this, because it is legit that good. Netflix just has really weird specifications on the kind of camera you use. So all of that being said, that is what we have for gaming and tech. Now let's get into TV streaming. This is very likely the largest section we have for the episode, so we're going to hit the follow-ups, and then we're going to go jump right into the news. So follow-up section, we have MODOK starting things off. We got a new trailer and a release date for MODOK. The release date is May 21st. You can see the link to the trailer in the show notes. Animaniacs has been renewed for a third season, long before we get season 2. We are now officially going to be getting a season 3 as well. It helps that season 1 was amazing and like really set crazy records for Hulu. So yeah, let's do that. Then we're talking Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone, Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone at least, has been canceled. Which, if you've seen my previous coverage on the series, you know is really no skin off my back because like it was okay. But Rod Serling's Twilight Zone was 10 times the social commentary and 10 times as clever. And it came out 50, 60 years ago. So, you know, there's always that. And then our final follow-up for this section has to do with The Bad Batch. The new Star Wars animated series is going to be premiering on May the 4th. That's right. May the 4th be with you, everyone. So yeah, we're getting Bad Batch. There's going to be some more Star Wars announcements over the next week, so we will definitely be covering those as they come down the pike, but that is all we have for follow-ups. Now let's get into the brand new section, and that is starting things off with Avatar Studios. So Nickelodeon recently announced that they have started a new studio, a subsidiary company, if you will, called Avatar Studios. Avatar as in Avatar: The Last Airbender. They're going to be focusing on Avatar-centric content. Surprise, surprise! But their first foray into this world is an Avatar theatrical release. I could not find if it was going to be animated or live action. Either would not surprise me. But the big thing about this is the original creators, Michael DiMartino and Brian I am not going to be able to pronounce that last name properly, Konietzko, are both going to be in charge of this theater. They're going to answer directly to Nintendo's head of animation, and that is it. That's the only person that they are beholden to, which could be an amazing, amazing thing after what we saw with the live-action adaptation that's going to Netflix. This is going to be that much better. So, that's all we have there. Next, we're moving over to Paramount Plus. Remember, Paramount Plus is going to be the replacement app for CBS All Access. Paramount Plus presumably is going up a level as far as the rights go, so they're going to be able to put more onto the platform than CBS could, because I don't know. I really don't understand any of the logic behind a lot of these behind a lot of the streaming stuff, because like HBO is a subsidiary company of Warner Brothers. Why didn't they call it Warner Brothers Max? So like the naming stuff is just silly to me. That being said, March 4th is right around the corner. March 4th is the day that they're going to be switching from the one to the other. They did announce pricing plans. If you are currently on the $5.99 plan, then you are going to be grandfathered in. If you have not started a CBS All Access account and you want to get a Paramount account, then there's going to be 2 tiers. The ad-supported tier is going to be $4.99, so $5 a month if you want to see ads in your stuff. And there's going to be some limitations on the content that you have access to. Or if you want the premium tier, then it's going to be $9.99 a month, and you're not going to have ads, and you can go to anything that they currently have live on the platform. So that's very interesting. Some of the things that they talked about in their investors call, talking about the transition, are very interesting. I'm just going to go over the list of highlights. There was plenty more, but list of highlights is Halo. So Halo is switching from a Showtime show to a Paramount Plus show. Halo, Frasier, which we've been talking about. So confirmation of a rumor right there. Frasier is happening again. It's going to be the new version of Frasier. So everyone's coming back, including Kelsey Grammer, obviously. Fairly Odd Parents live action show. There's going to be Camp Coral. The first SpongeBob spinoff is going to be SpongeBob's Under Years. A Rugrats animated show that is CG animation. Yellowstone spinoff that currently is just being called 6666. I don't know what the relevance is to the 6,666, but whatever. Road Rules and The Real World are both coming back. Reno 911 is getting a new show called The Hunt for QAnon, which, oh man. Behind the Music, Unplugged, and Yo MTV Raps are all on the list as well. So very eclectic and interesting amalgamation of things for that platform. I hope it does well because there's some really great potential behind a lot of those. Moving right along, we're next talking about a new series called G.I. Joe Lady J. Lady J is getting her very own live action series on Amazon. Eric Olson is going to be the showrunner. If you recognize that name, it's because he was also the guy in charge of the Netflix Daredevil series, as well as The Man in the High Castle, so on and so forth. So could be fantastic. This is expansion of the cinematic G.I. Joe universe. Never a bad thing to expand your universe as long as you can do it well. Next, we are talking very briefly about Andor. This is a very interesting situation. I take it back. This is not going to be brief. It's the little bit of information is quick. So the little bit of information is that George Lucas is being listed as a writer on the series. Now, there's a couple of really interesting differences between how he is listed versus how the other writers are listed. So first, George Lucas is only being listed as going down for 2 episodes. And second, he is also being listed as writing the characters? What does that mean? IMDb does not elaborate, so we are only left to speculation. So if you'll excuse me very briefly, we're going to speculate about what that means. What it seems to mean, at least to me, is that while George Lucas is not going to be in the writer's room with the writing staff, he is getting a writing credit because they are going to be using other characters that he created. And so he is probably going to be in some sort of like almost consultant level deal. And because of that, because of the status of his contract with Disney and what is Lucasfilm these days, he's getting a full-blown writing credit for 2 episodes, which are going to be dealing with characters that he created, even though he's probably not going to be actually writing dialogue or scenes or anything like that for those 2 episodes. So all of this speculation that Lucasfilm brought back George Lucas really is unfounded. really is unfounded. If more rumors surface from this, we will definitely analyze those in the rumor section. We don't have any of those today, and we're not in the rumor section, so we're going to be moving on. Our next piece is coming from the other end of the universe, and that's Star Trek. That Section 31 series that we've been keeping tabs on, that we've heard 1,000,001 rumors about, is definitely still somewhere in the world of Paramount and all of that. But we do know for sure that it is not in active development right now because Alex Kurtzman and Julie McNamara, who is the Paramount Plus head of programming, have come out and said that that show will not happen until one of the current 5 live-action Star Trek shows is completed. Very likely that will probably be Picard, and then they will try their hands at expanding the current universe around Michael. I can't think of the character's last name, but whatever. The Discovery universe. So, yeah, kind of puts the kibosh on some of those Section 31 rumors. We're going to move on anyway. Our last piece in TV streaming has to do with a new show called Metal Lords. D.B. Weiss and David Benioff are in charge of a new series that's coming to Netflix. They're both going to be producing. D.B. Weiss is going to be showrunning, it seems, and it's going to be based on 2 kids in high school who are trying to start a metal band. The other noteworthy announcement about this is that Tom Morello is going to be what they're calling executive music producer. So he's going to be the guy in charge of all of the music to some degree. I mean, I like Rage Against the Machine as much as the next guy, but I don't know if Tom Morello is the guy that's really connected with the metal scene these days. I mean, maybe that's just my bias showing through, but either way, that's what we got for TV streaming. So now we're going to jump headfirst into movies. First off, we're talking Spider-Man 3 in follow-ups. Spider-Man 3, we just got the official announcement of the subtitle, No Way Home. There's been a lot of speculation as to what this means, and also, very strangely, the shape of the whatever. We'll get into the speculation in a further episode. This episode is much too large to be spending too much time here. We're going to move right along. Our next piece has to do with Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead just released its first teaser trailer. If you want to go check that out, remember this is Zack Snyder's zombie movie, and somehow there's aliens involved. Go watch the trailer, then we'll talk about it. Our last piece of follow-up has to do with the Mortal Kombat movie reboot. The Mortal Kombat The red band trailer, sorry, I couldn't think of words. The red band trailer for Mortal Kombat, the reboot, has surpassed Logan and Deadpool in views, being the most viewed red band trailer in the history of the internet, which is kind of freaking awesome, and I just decided to share that with you. Now, let's get into actual news for the section. So starting things off for news is another rumor confirmation, and that is Blue Beetle. We have Jaime Reyes is going to be on the big screen. That's right, he's going to be the subject of his very own DC Universe movie. The director, Manuel Soto, took to Twitter and also did an interview with Variety? What was it? The Wrap, I'm sorry. Did an interview with The Wrap and announced it on Twitter that he is going to be directing the movie. There was an announcement. I didn't recognize the name of the kid that they announced that was going to be in it. I think they said he was going to be Jaime. I will follow up on this in the next episode because I feel a little silly right now. Moving right along, we have another DC announcement, kind of. Harley Quinn. James Gunn kind of rocked the boat a little bit the other day when he said that he and Margot Robbie have begun discussions about a Harley Quinn movie. Now, just because James Gunn and Margot Robbie are talking about it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Doesn't mean that Warner Brothers is going to give them the green light. Doesn't mean anything, but it was all over the nerd sphere, so I had to put it in here. It is a possibility, but right now it is a slim possibility at best, considering how the last two movies that had Harley Quinn in them did. So, moving right along, we're talking Pet Sematary. There is a prequel movie in the works. It's going to go straight to Paramount Plus. No release date yet as to when it will be happening. It is going to be coming from the pen of screenwriter Jeff Buhler, who wrote the 2019 remake, which was pretty lackluster, let's be honest. So that is what we have on that piece. Our last piece has to do with Beavis and Butthead. As part of that investors call, they did announce also that Beavis and Butthead are getting another movie, as well as transferring over to Paramount Plus. So another Beavis and Butthead movie. That's all we got. I just had to talk about it. That is the movie section, guys. So let's finish things off. Let's talk Rumor Mill. Rumor Mill, we have one confirmation of rumor that we haven't talked about in any of the other sections. That confirmation has to do with Lex Luthor, Wale Parks. We theorized, and the Rumor Mill definitely threw out there that Wale Parks was going to be Black Lex Luthor from somewhere else in the multiverse. Well, at least part of that has been confirmed in that we did get to see that Wale Parks is in fact Black Lex Luthor, and being as the Lois and the Superman and Lois show that this happened in is part of the Arrowverse, and we already have John Cryer playing the regular Lex Luthor in the Arrowverse, then it only lends to believe that he's going to be from somewhere else in the multiverse. But we have no confirmation. All we know is he is a version of Lex Luthor, and so yeah, there you go. And then our refutation for this episode is honestly something like I thought when I first saw the refutation, I was like, oh, that's right, we talked about that. And then I saw the actual rumor that it was refuting. I don't think we talked about this specifically. So there has been a rumor recently that we're going to be seeing Big Hero 6 characters make their way into the MCU proper. Well, Kevin Feige himself came out and said, yeah, that's not happening, at least not anytime soon. So there's no current progress on Big Hero 6 characters showing up in mainline MCU. That is the subsection. Now let's get into the actual rumors. Our first rumor comes from Henry Cavill himself. Mass Effect is apparently going to be a thing. all of this crazy going on with Henry Cavill. Everybody's like, oh, I want to cancel Henry Cavill because he dated Gina Carano before her political views were known by anyone. Okay, I think I let that sink in a little bit. So Henry Cavill, in response, also the other reason people are getting grumpy at Henry Cavill these days is because he hasn't come out and welcomed Sasha Calle as the new Supergirl. Well, A, I'm sure Cavill's pretty busy with The Witcher and all. B, he also might be a little salty because if you want to believe the rumors that we've been covering, the fact that they have cast a new Supergirl potentially means he's not going to play Superman again. So there's that. But C, maybe he doesn't really care who else is in the universe with him until he works with this person. He's not going to congratulate somebody based on merits he doesn't know they have. So, whatever. But the reason we're talking about Henry Cavill right now is because instead of welcoming Sasha Calle, he posted to his Instagram something with a script in his hand, and the script is very, very blurry, and people are saying that they have been able to unblur the image so that they can read at least part of the script that is in his hand. It looks like he tweeted or posted this to Instagram from his makeup chair on the set of Witcher 3, but there is a lot of vocabulary in there lending itself to the world of Mass Effect. So that's awesome. This is very, 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 very loose. There is not anything beyond this letting us know that any of this is true. And the fact that it's based on software that may or may not actually sharpen text in an image, I can't go along with this very much. I am going to give it a 50% validity because of the source, because of the potential here, but that's as high as we could theoretically go. Even though it appears there might be physical evidence that this is happening, we don't know that. The picture's far too blurry, and I don't trust algorithms. So 50%, and that's a really slim 50. Our next piece of rumor comes from why can't I read? Aquaman 2. Oh, speaking of the DCU, Aquaman 2, there is a new rumor, and there's actually a slew of these rumors, saying that Amber Heard has in fact been fired from the set of Aquaman 2, and they're now going to be replacing her with Emilia Clarke. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to see Amber Heard as Mira at all in the DCEU anytime in the near future, because we already know that they're done filming the Snyder Cut of the Justice League, and she's in it. So this comes from a lot of different places, but I cannot go any higher than halfway there because there's just too many possibilities one way or the other. If there was a solid source, if there was a source that I absolutely knew 100% has connections to Warner Brothers, that's the only way this could get higher than 50%. And also, because of other things we've heard legitimately in the news, I have to even drop that down a little bit more. So validity for this rumor is about 40%. I want it to be true. I think Emilia Clarke is 10 times the actor that Amber Heard is. I think all of the nonsense going on with Amber Heard is going to be more distraction for Warner Brothers than it is going to be a draw to any of their properties anyway. So this should be a thing. I just don't think it is. And that's what we got there. So let's move on to our final rumor. Our final rumor is a Scarecrow movie rumor. This one is new. We've heard that there might be a Bane. Also, one rumor that we should have covered in the last episode that I totally missed in the notes, and I apparently didn't transfer over to my new notes, is that Bane is rumored to be making an appearance. Not just Bane, but Tom Hardy Bane is rumored to be making an appearance in the Flashpoint movie. I'm not going to give any validity to that because we're just touching on it briefly, but yeah, I just wanted you to know it was there because it's a fun rumor to think about. But this final rumor is Scarecrow. So Scarecrow, because Joker did so well, because we do have the potential rumors of Penguin movie. There was also those rumors of potentially a Joker movie that we've talked about. Another Joker movie, I guess, is more appropriate. As well as there was one other one. Mr. Freeze, the Mr. Freeze rumor that we also heard talk of. So this is just the next in the line of things. The rumor does go on to say that Cillian Murphy is being considered for the lead role. Because of that, I think that does more to damage the validity of the rumor than to help it, because I don't know that Cillian Murphy really wants to revisit that character, or even if they can do any sort of justice beyond what the Christian Bale Batman, Christopher Nolan did for that character. So that kind of goes against it, and it's from a super weak source. This validity to this rumor is probably about 25%. But that's all of the rumors we got today, guys, and that is the end of the episode. What should I talk about in the next one? What did I miss for this one? Let me know in the comments down below. If, though, you want to go deeper in the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net, patreon.com/generallynerdy if you want to support a little bit more directly, or you can find me on all of the social medias, all of the main ones anyway. Just look for the Nerdy Ninja and the name Generally Nerdy. Twitch, I do stream twice a week. I try and stream twice a week. It's, the last couple weeks has been spotty, but I've at least got once a week. It's usually Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays in the early evening and Saturdays in the late evening, into the night is when I do the streams. So thank you very much for joining me here. Catch me on all of that other stuff. If you want to, if you're falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, you can click or tap the boxes that are appearing right there to the left of my face, or to the right of my face, rather, to do all of that. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Before I go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.